Hi everyone, I'm Jin. As Jay mentioned, I'm the head of paid social, and I've been with Push close to 4 years now, building out the paid social team. So today we're going to touch on everything on how to get ready for Christmas and Q4 in general on paid social. Cool. So I'm dividing today's agenda into what we know, what we should know, and what we should do. So hopefully that is easy to remember. Skipping into what we know, this is basically a summary on every Q4 webinar we've attended as a team in the last month. So this is the webinars from Pinterest, Google, Facebook. These were the key takeaways. The main thing that we hear every single year is that clicks and traffic are more expensive in Q4. So we have to prepare for it. We have to adjust our mindset to be able to scale in Q4. If not, we feel disappointed by what we see as results in the short term, and we might restrict our growth and your business growth. So definitely prepare for this. And with that in mind, also make sure, like Jay and Dad has mentioned, when it comes to your brand, build up that acquisition list as we go through the year. So you can be more efficient when it comes to Q4. So the festive shopping period starts early. As you can see, I've started quite early this year as well, with my Christmas tree in the background. And I kind of put this off today, only realizing now with Zoom you can just have a generic background. So that's an hour wasted. But yeah, so Christmas start early. It usually starts in September onwards. So Pinterest, basically, I've looked into how much incremental sales can you gain by actually positioning yourself and targeting Christmas keywords. And they worked out around 6% in incremental sales. But if you look at the conversions, you can get 4.7 times more conversions if you start to advertise early. And one way brands are doing this is through the advent calendar. So I know a lot of our clients are starting to promote their advent calendars from early October. And this is a great way to address those early shoppers who are interested in Christmas. Expect no loyalty. And this is quite a sad message, but it's true. Customers look for offers during Q4, and yes, there will be a few brands that they remain really loyal to, but don't rely on that. Make sure your offer is really strong, and make sure you really go back to target people who've shopped with you last year and who've shopped with you in the last 6 months, let's say. During Q3, we really want to strengthen the brand loyalty and make sure we're always top of mind for customers. So when it does come to Q4, there might be some loyalty, but don't rely on this. Do make sure you have a strong offer. And I mean, this has been the same message for years and years and years, but it is true every year. So customers will browse and buy on mobile. And it is really interesting that, most of us focus on our home pages when we think about, is my website fully optimized for mobile? But actually, a lot of people land on your product pages. And this is where there's not necessarily so much attention. Make sure your product pages are optimized for mobile, and you have the very strong CTAs at the top, as well as it's easy and seamless to check out on mobile as well. And this is making sure that the customer don't have time to have any doubt in their mind before purchasing. It's a quick process that they will go through. And what we have seen in the past is when offers are too complex and the customer really have to think about, okay, so I need to add 3 products to get this discount. It doesn't work. So keep it a generic offer, 20% across the website, and it's super easy for people to understand. And due to the iOS privacy update that was rolled out in March, we know that it's going to be a challenge to scale this year. And that is because Facebook is not getting as many signals, real time signals, as it did before. So, what I mean by that is we've lost visibility on the conversions that our campaigns drive. And when we used to scale our budget, it used to be real time looking at the conversions that we can see from campaigns, and then increasing our budget. Now we've lost that visibility. So, it is a challenge. So, what we are planning to do is, yes, we look at Facebook, but more importantly, we look at the overall revenue figure in Google Analytics or a third party tool, or you're even directly in your Shopify store, because this would tell me if you are driving overall more revenue real time, and that allows me that flexibility to scale up my budget. Okay, so that was a quick summary on what we know. This is what we've had every single year. This is what every webinar is saying. Now, what we should know. Not every shopper shops the same during Christmas. And this is a really nice kind of summary I've taken from a Pinterest webinar I recently attended. And I've adapted it slightly so we know how to approach this from a paid social point of view. If we think about shoppers, we usually just say, okay, people interested in gifts, let's target them all. But actually, there are so many different types of shoppers. And if we position our product and approach them in the right way, we can maximize our revenue. So firstly, you've got the early bird shopper, and this is the person that will buy an advent calendar 1st of October. So do you target them early with an advent calendar or with a very direct Christmas message? They are ready to shop and they are ready to get ready for Christmas. The traditionalist, so follows the same buying pattern every year, and they love anything Christmas themed. So if we think about the traditionalists, they're going to be the people who bought from you last year. So make sure you have your CRM list ready and you can retarget them with a Christmas message. Everything as well, make sure that's Christmas themed. They know what to expect. The self-gifter, so this is a bit of me here, taking the time for Christmas to be very selfish, and self-gift to myself. So these are the people who, yes, I'm going to think about other people, but also when I see a necklace, I'm going to buy that for myself and treat myself. So make sure you do, where you have a gifting ad, you also have an ad that talks about self-gifting, treating yourself. It's been a hard year. And this is really important because actually sometimes we see that people really respond to the self-gifting message and spend more money on themselves than other people. And that's just the fact of it. We're a selfish world. The rookie host. So this is the one that is doing it for the first time. You're probably mid-20s. You're starting to host Christmas and you actually will just buy everything for the first time. And with these people, make sure we target our complete product list or product categories to them because they're going to be interested in everything, not just specific products. So yes, this is how we would approach them. The shipping first shopper, so these are people who are only shopping online and they will ensure that, they know your return dates, they know that it's going to arrive in time. So definitely be clear about your delivery dates, cutoff dates, return policies. These are things people really look at Christmas time. And the last minute shopper. So these are the people that Jad is kind of mentioning as well, that are buying gift cards because we've kind of looked or figured this out last year. It's actually really easy to buy a gift card for someone and send it directly to them. And this is not a trend that's going away. So once your ads and campaigns that are cut off and have a cut off date, once those fade, target people with gift gift cards if they haven't bought, because there might still be some last minute shoppers looking for a gift even the night before Christmas, and they'll be interested in those gift cards, so it can still maximize your revenue. So yes, this is just a summary of how we can approach all these different shoppers, and it's not a one glove fits all approach. If every shopper is different, then we have to accept that every channel will be different as well. So let's not have the same approach across every paid social channel. And this is basically how we will be approaching every social channel. So we as a team have been testing every single channel out on every single channel that we can in the last year, because we really want to figure out how to use these channels together to have a really strong multi-channel strategy. The first thing we figured out is it's great to tease on TikTok. And what we're starting to do more and more is run like lead generation ads on TikTok, where we can get really cheap traffic, really cheap clicks. We're early adopters there. And we're not necessarily asking people to buy, because what we're figuring out is people don't always like to leave the TikTok platform. Once you're in TikTok, you want to stay there. So we are building our CRM systems through TikTok, and offering people a one-time offer code through TikTok. So building CRM and teasing on TikTok. Pinterest. So when we get to Pinterest, these are people who are planning way in advance, and they are looking for inspiration. I think as early as July, we started Christmas keywords kind of coming in through Pinterest. And when I'm talking about those people, the early adopters or people ready to shop in October for Christmas, these people on Pinterest. So make sure that when it comes to Pinterest, you are early there in terms of your Christmas campaigns, because these people are ready to buy. And when we look at search queries coming through Pinterest, it is unbranded and it will be a longer tail query. So for instance, it will be gifts for men under £50. Go after those type of queries on Pinterest as well. When we think about Snapchat, here we want to be social, but be direct, right? Because Snapchat is actually a really good customers to target. They are usually, the average order value from Snapchat is much higher than any other channel. And over the years, they've really refined their own system and their own algorithm. So it's a really good platform that's more stable, let's say, than TikTok, which is an early adopter platform now. So if we think about Snapchat, have your product ads there, but position it, for instance, in terms of like a product demo that someone can watch, because it still needs to have a social aspect to it, even though you are you're selling to people, and people are okay with that on Snapchat. And then we come to Facebook, which obviously includes Instagram as well. And here, the beauty of Facebook remains that we can target our whole funnel on Facebook. So it is a great, great channel to make sure you are still investing enough in Facebook, and target every single funnel. So from cold traffic to your warm traffic, to your hot traffic, to your existing customer, make sure you cover everyone and focus on everyone on Facebook. But the key thing is speak to people differently. And this is the one thing that we always see across accounts is we're running the same, or people running the same ads across the different funnels. And if you think about it, that makes no sense, because why are we speaking to people we know differently in the same way? So definitely make sure you adjust your messaging for Facebook. Okay, so what we should do. Planning is key. So this is how we break down Q4 into 3 phases. So we think about September, October as phase 1, Here we're talking or we're thinking about focusing on launching and inspiring. So our main objective here is cold traffic and building up those acquisition lists. So if you think about channels, we're spending more money now on TikTok to acquire those lists and build up our CRM. We're running video ads and using story and video placements because we want to inspire people. We want people to watch content that we can retarget come Q4 November specifically. And if you think about it now, don't expect people to buy because they know what's coming. So optimize your campaign towards view content or add to carts, because that's what you want people to do now. You want people to be viewing content and you want them to get the carts ready for Q4. So don't be disappointed if your CPA goes up in the short term. It will pay off come November and December. November, shift into high gear. So now we are basically looking at cold, warm, and existing traffic campaigns. We're starting to roll out our whole funnel, targeting people across the whole funnel, and move majority of your budget into conversion campaigns and go after that purchase event because now you're expecting people to buy. Run carousel ads, single image ads, and product ads. So, you've inspired people now in September and October with your brand and educating people around your brand. Show them what you have to offer in terms of products come November. And then December, January. So stick to the finish. It's a long period. It's a marathon, we say every year. So stick it out and continue with your conversion campaigns. Continue targeting the sales funnel. Obviously, adapt your ads to be more Christmas focused as well. Target each holiday shopper differently. And January is always a period where people kind of miss out on opportunity because we've gone through Q4 and we kind of cut things off come last New Year's Eve. So do bear in mind that January is actually a really cheap time to run campaigns, and it's usually when everyone pulls back spend. So you've just had people buy from your brand maybe during Black Friday and Christmas. It usually benefits brands to target people within 2 weeks of purchasing. So if you've had a lot of new customers come through in November, December, make sure you send them an email or you work on your email marketing so they can remember you and maybe buy again in January. If, for instance, you have let's say a winter sale in January. So that's still a very key period. Don't forget about it and don't miss out on the opportunity. Great. And this is a chart that shows you basically how you should be allocating your budget against different customer behaviors, but also against different campaign objectives. So as we're now early September or late September, early October, you'll see that the awareness spend is a lot higher, and it's definitely a higher proportion. As we're moving into November, weighing your budget more on the conversion spend, especially during Black Friday, and then that decreased slightly towards the end of December. But this is a really good way to think about it, how to really maximize over this time period, and do adjust your budget, have different expectations because people are gonna be acting differently through the Q4 period. So we shouldn't just expect sales from 1st of October. We should definitely warm people up. And if we only do 4 things, do this. So firstly, install the conversion API. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, please do get in touch. We can guide you through that. We're happy to offer support to any brand who get in touch. So the conversion API is going to help us come Q4 get some of that data back that we've lost through iOS. Number 2, do an account audit. Understand what are your benchmarks if you're going to move into Q4, and do not do a year-on-year comparison, because last year was a completely different ballgame when it came to e-commerce. So do look at 2019 and 2020 when you do your account audits as well. If you have no idea where to start with an account audit, get in touch. We have a great 2-pager we can share that our team is using to answer questions. So that can really help you do your account audit. And number 3, set weekly spend and ROAS goals. So once you have an understanding of how your campaigns have performed, set those targets so you know what success looks like and when to scale as well. That's really key. Do not go into Q4 blinded by previous results or not understanding success. And every year we see Facebook completely black out 2 days before Black Friday as everyone's trying to publish. So ensure all your ads are built at least 5 days in advance, and you can relax with a cup of coffee and just toggle them on Black Friday morning. There's going to be no building and publishing. So that's definitely going to ensure that everyone has a much calmer Black Friday.